All right. So this is Epic Sketch Time. Wow, I messed that up. Let's try again. This is Epic Sketch Time 2016, number 14. It is April 12th? 12th. It is April 12th. And for the next hour or so, we will be sketching epically together. Man, I cannot say the word epically today. Somebody is doing something. My Monlux.
Oh, hang on, that's Bill trying to get in.
Yeah, no, I figured. Okay, so my name's James Stowe. I'm a cartoonist. I create a webcomic called Sidekick Quest. It's an all-ages fantasy role-playing game comic starring kids. And with me tonight are, right now, three wonderful cartoonists. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Mark Monlux. I do a webcomic called The Return of Stickman and another called The Comic Critic. And I'm located in Tacoma, Washington, same as Stowe.
And I guess that's all the introductions we're going to get.
No,
Right.
I was going to introduce myself.
There you go. Excellent.
Yes, I had to unmute myself. I am Deanna Brigman. I make a fantasy web series called Obscurato on obscurato.com, and I'm located in sunny San Diego, California. I'll be working on another page for my comic tonight.
Cool. And Pat, can you talk?
My name's Pat McEwen. I do a comic called The Devil and Mr. Gandhi. I don't know if you can see my sticker here. There's my promo. Yay.
Yeah, the enthusiasm is contagious. All right, and we, for the next hour or so, are going to just be drawing. We might be talking about some stuff, but mostly we're going to be cartooning or something else. I don't know what everybody's working on. I'm working on Friday's Sidekick Quest comic. You might see some glimpses of tomorrow's comic in there as well.
I'll be working on a series of monster playing cards. I'm basically just adding in the titles of all the various ones at this point.
For those of you who regularly watch Epic Step Time, that should come as no surprise. So, Mark, I have to ask, because I couldn't be there, how was Emerald City?
Emerald City was fantastic.
I wish I had been
It was the first time they did a 4-day show.
there. Yep.
Thursday was from 2 to 7. Friday was from 10 to 7. Saturday was from 10 to 7. And then Sunday was from 10 to 5. With Saturday being the big costume day, but people were showing up in costumes on Friday. I had a regular con attendance day on Friday, and then Friday was a superb day. Saturday managed to beat it, but barely. And then I would say that Sunday tapered down back to a Friday level. So it was, for me, my best con. My net profit walking away from it was over $1,000, which is the first time that's happened.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, my gross profit was about $2,300, just under that. But I have to admit my expenses are mitigated by the fact that I stay at my friend Joe's up in Shoreline, and he also has been attending with me on a regular basis, and we've got this running banter that's even more effervescent and vigorous than my normal barking at conventions. And he does a wonderful job of taking care of the books while I sign things. And speaking of sign things, I was in Monsters and Dames, which is a book that Emerald City produces every year. It's got about 86 contributing artists from the show in it. It's a juried book, and it's sold for like $30 at the convention, with the proceeds going to the Children's Hospital. And I couldn't help but noticing that the printing quality of the book is a little subpar. Some of the pages that my artwork was on were really bad, while other pages were, far superior. And I'm not sure if that was just my page or if other people were noticing things like flex and the like. But most people didn't seem to really be complaining and were often running, gathering signatures as fast as they could. And I think I sold to anywhere between 1 out of 3 to 1 out of 4 people who came by my table with that and also bought something else. So it really helped my sales this year. And I don't know if anyone else in this. I know that Bill was outside doing sketches of people. How was that, Bill?
It didn't do quite well as I would have liked. I didn't have Saturday. I had a last minute favor being called in by a friend, so I got in pretty late. And ultimately, I don't think cosplayers hung around the back the way they did with SakuraCon. So while I had certainly some good pieces, I don't think it was really my best score for a weekend, as it were, considering what I frequently do at cons like SakuraCon or fairs like Folklife. I mean, Folklife I can get as much as 10 pages a day.
Now, another thing about Emerald City, people were not allowed to sign up at the event or even put themselves on the list. It's going to be May 1st, and it's going to be online that it'll become accessible.
Mm-hmm.
And at least it's May 1st accessible for people who were at the show. I don't know what the general call will be. But I'm definitely going to be setting myself for alarms to get to that thing first thing in the morning on May.
Mm-hmm. Jokes aside, are we talking midnight or something reasonable?
I got this.
Can you repeat that? Stowe, can you repeat that? You faded out.
And I was on the wait list.
Okay.
So, hello?
Yes.
Well, sound like you're kind of in a closet somewhere.
Wow. Weird.
Okay,
I said I got the same. I feel like I'm talking over, and that there's lag. I think I might just wrong.
Great.
Well, my wife's calling me. I'm going to have to leave, gentlemen. I'll catch you all next week.
Okay, have a good one.
It's 8 o'clock.
It's so quiet.
What?
Can people hear me now?
Yes. Though you are garbled.
Really? Still?
Uh,
All right,
now that you mention it, okay,
all right,
maybe.
I'm going back to mute then.
I'm sorry, what?
Muting myself.
Uh, Finally.
I think I'm going to take off, folks. Have a nice night. See you all next week.
You do the same.
You too, Pat.
Okay.
Now
Well,
it's just you and two muted people.
yep. Yeah, a lot of busy folks tonight.
Yeah, it's a quiet one tonight. How did last week's go?
It pretty well. I mean, there was a little bit of a there was a little bit of confusing starting up, but that seems to be a trend these days.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of like it's gotten to the point where I don't even panic. I just wait for I get onto the page, go do something else, and wait for it to ring. And that kind of backfired tonight, considering where I found myself locked after I thought I was on the right page, got locked out for about 10 minutes.
Oh, geez.
And just figuring out the punchline for tomorrow's strip, which I am not completely sure about just yet.
Now, do you do a gag in every strip?
Not necessarily. I mean, sometimes. I mean, obviously, a gag is the gag is the priority. But if there's stuff like drama or clever dialogue, I don't think a punchline is completely necessary.
Sure.
But at the same time, technically, it's a humor strip, so I try to go for a punchline. Though, admittedly, I've come to the conclusion that it's not a matter of the humorous punchline; it's more of the ending in the beat. So, for example, in an action strip, it's not necessarily ending in something funny. It's ending in something dramatic or so in that case, punchline could theoretically be literal, but
Sure.
and sometimes when I'm off my game, I've been having I don't know if I'd mentioned this in past lectures. For a while, I had what I thought was a useful technique for getting around writer's block, which was essentially doing the art based on what I was envisioning and doing the characters and what I imagined the scene would be, and hope that I thought of the dialogue later. And I've recently found that to be a bit more. And at the time, it seemed useful, especially when you were trying to getting into the used to doing a page, making sure you made your deadline.
Sure.
And as I said, at the time I thought it worked well, but now I sort of worry that it became a bit of a trap, so I'm forcing myself to script more, which is unfortunately an uphill battle, and I keep frequently, especially when I had a hectic and distracting week like last week, where I was trying to squeeze in the convention time, finding myself falling back into the old old bad habits.
Right. Yeah, I sometimes find myself drawing it first and then figuring out what they're going to say after the figures are on the page. And I kind of understand where the action and where the beats are.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm trying to break the habit because, I mean, to a certain extent, this strip is a bit of a there's a bit of a jazz improv element to it, but I realized that there's this other project that I'm working on, which is a sort of 50s style superhero strip, kind of in the style of Milt Caniff, and suddenly realizing while that one still has a lot of stuff for me to figure out before I actually start doing it, one of the things I realized is that's whereas the humor strip is very much jazz improv, that's one that I'm going to plot out to the last detail, so it occurs to me that getting better at scripting the humor strip will hopefully give me some good habits for the project that actually requires good scripting.
Sure. Now, do you work on 2 regularly now or no?
I'm sorry. What was the question again?
I said, do you regularly work on 2 right now or no?
2 strips?
Yeah.
The adventure strip is pretty much me still putting notes together and doing a lot of concept art. It'll be a while before I'm doing anything more than sketching on it. I've done a few experiments. I've been doing it. There was a bit of a learning curve because at first I was thinking of trying to do it as a strip because one. Humor strips have taken over the medium so much it'd be cool to do. I thought it would be cool to do a traditional adventure strip, but also 2, I don't know if it's me overthinking it or whatnot, but I have a bit of a or maybe it's because I've just been a strip artist for over 10 years now. It occurs to me I'm having a bit of a mental block with full comic book pages, and so at first I thought, okay, strips. Try use what you know with strip art and do a different genre. And at one level, this works. This is great, but at the other level, studying guys like Caniff, I was surprised and fascinating to discover there is a very different philosophy of composition to them, which is a good thing, but I'm still learning it.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah, see how this one reads to you, actually. Oops. I'm not sure. Speaking of punchlines, I'm not sure about the last bit of the last panel.
I read it. I mean, it's a good beat.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, as I said, there's times where dialogue strips like this work just fine. But at the same time, I want to be sure, and if there's any way I can make it funny, all the better.
Right.
But no, that's good to know. Thank you. Actually, I thought of a way of improving it. I figure, as was I. Now let's hurry. I don't want to find out if the crowd outside shares our sense of humor. That's better. Actually.
Check out this thing.
Hmm?
Oh, it's talking to my child.
Uh,
I think it might be that time for me.
oh, okay. Well, cool. So I better.
All right. It was good to see everybody.
Okay, likewise.
Sorry for all the relatively usual uh, technical difficulties.
Hmm.
Hopefully, we won't have them next week, but who knows?
Hopefully. Boring.
Hopefully, everybody enjoyed watching. Those that watched,
Hmm.
and those that didn't can catch it on YouTube, which is weird to say since you're probably watching this in order to hear me say that. So I will see everybody next week. This has been Epic Sketch Time. Thanks, everybody. Bye bye.
Check.